this very special show with the Indian hockey contingent. I'm joined by the coach, Reid. I'm joined by the captain, Manpreet Singh. I'm joined by a very dear friend, Sreejesh. I will start with you, captain. I'll start with you, Manpreet. आप मुझे बताओ, are you, just days left. What is the morale of the team? Physically and mentally, are you ready? आपको अभी जो preparation है, if I ask you to rate it, is it 10 on 10 in your schema?
Yes, definitely, sir. क्योंकि जिस हिसाब से यहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग हो रही है हमारी, हम लोग एक्चुअली ट्रेनिंग आफ्टरनून में कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि जैसे सभी को पता है कि टोक्यो में जो वेदर है वो काफी जैसे हॉट रहेगा आफ्टरनून, और हमारे जो मैचेस हैं वो भी दोपहर में 10-11 बजे इतने बजे रहेंगे। तो इसीलिए हम लोग जो हमारा ट्रेनिंग है वो आफ्टरनून में कर रहे हैं कि जो हमारा जो वेदर हम लोग यहाँ पे यूज टू हो सकें, और जब हम लोग टोक्यो में जाएं तो वहाँ पे ज्यादा अडॉप्ट करने में ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम ना हो। और स्पेशली हम लोग फिटनेस के ऊपर काफी ध्यान दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि हॉकी इट्स ऑल अबाउट फिटनेस। तो हम लोग यही चाहते हैं कि हमारा जो फिटनेस लेवल वो ज्यादा ऊपर है, और जब हम लोग वहाँ पे मैच टू मैच खेले तो हमारा जो फिटनेस लेवल वो ड्रॉप ना हो, और हम लोग हर मैच सेम इंटेंसिटी के लेवल पे खेल सकें।
Coach, I'll take it from there. What he was talking about, Manpreet, is that you can play. The idea is to play at the same intensity, and that is the whole physicality of modern hockey. There's been a lot written about team selection. I'm not interested in asking you about specific players. I don't believe in that. But give me a sense. When you picked this team for Tokyo, was it weather? Was it the number of players, that 16 and not 18? What was the main reasons that prompted your choice of particular players for this Tokyo-bound squad? Reid.
Yeah, look, you may have seen my comments on it before, and I stand behind those, and that is the fact that probably, yeah, of course, humidity, heat in Tokyo, the fact of 2 back-to-back games, those things are very important, and we had, I'm not sure if Manpreet mentioned, but in our fitness test, it would be about 3 weeks ago now, 29 of our 33 athletes achieved personal bests. So, definitely fitness was a major factor, but most of the players were at the level that they needed to be. So that's an interesting point and a good one to make. The 16 players is also very important because the first thing is most of the time you normally see a team with 18 in it, and so you expect to see specific players, but when you pick 16, there are some changes, not only from a point of view of who they are, but where they play and the flexibility required, not only from within a tournament such as the Olympics, but from within a game. So, those things are really very important. Things like team first. When I first started with this group, it was one of my first major slides was, we have to build a team first mentality, and our mantra has been together. And you said you were a historian of Olympic Games, and we studied them as well, all past Olympics, and probably the most common theme was regrets that former players had since the golden years, was that lack of cohesion during major tournaments or for example the Olympic Games. So I think that first the team first mentality.
Sreejesh, if I can come to you on that. You've been around for a long time. You're one of the greatest we've seen in recent times. Is this the best team? Is this the best team that you've been part of? Is it both physically, mentally? Is this the best group? And do we really have a great chance in terms of being in a good space? Your thoughts, Sreejesh?
See, if you look back and if you compare with this, every team got a specialty when they prepare for a certain tournaments. So it's depending on the tournaments and depending on the situation. So at the present moment, at the present scenario, yeah, definitely this is one of the best team, because at this present moment, what the performance these players showed in past 1.5 years. Everyone knows that we are in Bangalore from last the starting of the pandemic till now, and we are training under the same scenario, and we are training the same strategies, we are playing the same structure. So I believe that the coaching staff and the selectors got the enough opportunity to see the players, understand the players, and they valid the players with the quality, with the fitness, with the mentality, and as the way coach said, that the team comes first situation. So these all factors help a lot of newcomers to get into the team, and they made their way. And as the way Manpreet mentioned before, the fitness is a big vital factor is going to be in this tournament because, Japan knows really well with their hot and humid climate. So sustaining these crucial matches under this all weather condition, playing under a lot of pressure, I mean, the pressure of Olympics, I think we need a fresh leg to manage the tournament.
Okay, मनप्रीत ये बताओ, करंट हॉकी मॉडर्न हॉकी में हम लोग सब ये देखते हैं कि आपको एक ही इंटेंसिटी से पूरा मैच खेलना पड़ता है, और अगर आप फिजिकली अंतिम 5 मिनट, हम भारत के हॉकी में अंतिम 5 मिनट हमारे लिए बहुत बुरा रहा है। हिस्टोरिकली हम लोगों ने अंतिम 5 मिनट में बहुत बार कंसीड करके अपॉर्चुनिटी छोड़ दिया हम लोग। क्या इस टीम में वो खासियत है? आपको क्या लगता है कि हम लोग पूरा मैच सेम इंटेंसिटी से खेल सकते हैं? फिजिकली आप लोग वहां पे पहुंच चुके हो?
सर, जैसे कि अगर देखिए बात की जाए तो लास्ट 2 साल से हम लोगों ने इस चीज के ऊपर काफी काम किया है। अगर हमारा लास्ट ईयर प्रो लीग के मैचेस देखा जाए और रिसेंटली हमारा जो अगर टूर्नामेंट देखा जो हम लोग अर्जेंटीना के साथ मैच खेला है, हम लोगों ने लास्ट मिनट में अभी गोल कर रहे हैं और हम लोग लास्ट मिनट में और जो चांसेस है क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। अगर देखा जाए तो लास्ट अर्जेंटीना के मैच में हम लोग 2-1 से डाउन थे और लास्ट 25 सेकंड थे, हम लोगों ने प्लेंटिकॉन क्रिएट किया और वहीं से गोल किया। तो इसके ऊपर हम लोगों ने पर्टिकुलरली काफी काम किया है कि जब लास्ट 5-10 मिनट रहते हैं तो हमें कहाँ पे बॉल पोजेशन करना है और ओपोनेंट के पास बॉल रखेंगे तो उनके ऊपर ज्यादा प्रेशर फील रहेगा। तो कैसे पूरा गेम थ्रू आउट द एंड ऑफ द वेसल तक हमें पूरा एनर्जी लगाना पड़ेगा।
Okay. Coach, Manpreet mentioned penalty corner. I mean, short corner conversion has been an issue with India for a fairly long time, and we have suffered as a result. Your thoughts on that? I mean, we have seen much improved performances in recent times, but how important is it, and what have you done to address this concern?
Yeah, it's an interesting point because I've come from being a coach of the opposition team, and I'm not sure I would necessarily agree that the corners haven't necessarily been good for India. I think perhaps historically there haven't been enough corners created. So I think we've always had or India has always had the great flickers, but perhaps they haven't had enough opportunities to make those flicks when the things count. So for me, one of the really important things has been about trying to create opportunities. And when you create goal scoring opportunities, obviously you also trying to create opportunities for penalty corners, and I think that's one of the things that we've been really focusing on, and perhaps historically we either haven't created enough goal opportunities, or the opportunities that we create aren't necessarily quality ones. So we're really trying to be, we have a system where you rank every opportunity that you get between 1 and 5. And a shot in front of goals is a 5, so as a penalty corner is a 5. If you touch the ball on the back line, for example, you get in the circle, but it's only a 1. And perhaps I think that's been a real focus for us, is to try and convert those 1s and 2s into 3s, 4s and 5s. And so, when you get up there, you really want to make sure that they are quality opportunities. Okay. So that's the first part. And then the second part is about we've been trying to get different corner specialists helping out our players, and we have some world-class flickers. So
yeah, true. Sreejesh, tell me something. I mean, in terms of pressure, clearly India has had the worst of the pandemic. The second wave was monstrous. In terms of preparation, have you guys been able to properly prepare? You mentioned the Bangalore camp. I know that we will have to, as media, for example, all of us will be subjected to testing every day for the first 7 days, and the whole lot, the restrictions imposed on us. Thoughts on that? Does it add to your pressure? Does it make you feel, there is discrimination? Or is the mentality, jo hoga dekha jayega, we are now on the cusp of the Olympics, we will go and do our best?
say the last 1.5 years, I think we got enough experience, enough preparation to face any quarantine, any COVID test, or anything else. So we are mentally and physically fit for that. And second thing is definitely it is going to be a different Olympics games because as you know that earlier it is like a festival. Everyone can roam around, they meet people, they can go and watch other events. But this time it's totally different. So we are we are mostly focusing on our own business rather than worrying about what is happening the next door. And this is something which is really worried topic before this Olympics topic came, because we don't know how this COVID is going to affecting us, how they are going to manage it. So there were a lot of false news were spreading, but now we got it that, okay, this is what is going to happen. We just need to be there. We are allowed to train now in Tokyo. There are going to be tests, but which I mentioned earlier, we are used to with that. In previous Germany and Argentina, every day or every second day they used to test us. So testing is not an issue for us. But yeah, that's 1.5 years teached us how to stay together, and that was a real time for us to understand each other in a better way. Because when you get an open space, when you are free, you go around, you do a lot of other stuff when you than only with the team. But now this pandemic helped us to bond really well, so we understand each other really well. So now we know the weakness of our team members and we know the strength of our team members.
Lovely answer. I mean, Manpreet, basically Sreejesh जो कह रहा है about bonding is exactly the way one should look at the pandemic, क्योंकि हम लोग हर बार इसका नेगेटिविटी और ग्लूम ये सब देखते हैं, बट ये आपको चांस भी देता है ग्रैम रीड के पीछे पड़ने के लिए। थोड़ा कुछ छेड़ लो, कोच के भी पीछे पड़ जाओ यार, कुछ इधर उधर कर लो, ड्रेसिंग रूम में मस्ती कर लो। कोच, आई एम बेसिकली सेइंग दैट दे शुड हैव फन एट योर एक्सपेंस आल्सो, बिकॉज़ दे हैव नो अदर ऑप्शन, दे कांट गो आउट एंड द बॉन्डिंग हैज टू बी स्ट्रांग इनफ एनीवे। बट मनप्रीत, एज कैप्टन ऑफ इंडिया, once in a lifetime opportunity. I mean, if you think Dhyan Chand captained India in 1936, and by the way, let me tell you a story. He scored a goal, and the Indian team scored a goal, and they said, oh, you know what? All these guys have black magic in their hockey sticks. Yep. So there is a photograph, I'll show you the photograph, of this guy opening his turban and showing the German authorities that there is no black magic. It is all skill. So you are actually inheriting this tradition. आप ये tradition inherit कर रहे हो as captain of India. Thoughts about captaining India, Manpreet Singh?
So personally, actually मेरा यही रहता है कि जब भी मैं ग्राउंड के ऊपर हूँ मैं अपना पूरा बेस्ट दूं, क्योंकि अपनी कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट करना है। When you are wearing a national color, it's a huge proud of, right, for everyone. तो मेरे लिए यही रहता है कि ग्राउंड के ऊपर रहूँ, हमेशा अपना बेस्ट करूँ और पूरी टीम को साथ लेके चलें, क्योंकि डेफिनेटली मेरे साथ हमेशा जैसे श्री भाई हमेशा पीछे से पूरा मुझे मोटिवेट करते हैं अच्छी तरह से। तो
यार कुछ तो आप लोग नहीं बोल रहे हो, क्या मोटिवेट करता है बता
अच्छी तरीके से। यार दैट्स द राइट आंसर।
ये जो है ये मेरा ना है कि अच्छी तरह से मोटिवेट करते हैं ना पीछे से, वो बहुत ज्यादा अफेक्ट करता है और हमेशा ये सपोर्ट करते हैं। और बाकी भी मेरे साथ काफी सीनियर प्लेयर्स है, रुपिंदर है, वीरेंद्र लाकड़ है, हरमनप्रीत है। हम एज ए लाइक जैसे श्री ने बोला कि हम लोग एज ए फैमिली है यहाँ पे, तो हम लोगों ने मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम हम लोग यहाँ पे स्पेंड करते हैं। जब भी मैं ग्राउंड के ऊपर होता हूँ, कई बार मैं भी अच्छा नहीं खेल पाता हूँ, तो दे ऑलवेज हेल्प मी अलॉट। तो आई ऑलवेज ट्राई टू गिव अप माय बेस्ट ऑन द फील्ड कि एक साथ रहें, और अगर अच्छा नहीं कर पाता उसको ये हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि उसको मोटिवेट करें और उसको गेम में वापस लाएं, क्योंकि हॉकी में जितने प्लेयर ग्राउंड के ऊपर है वो सभी ही इम्पोर्टेंट होते हैं।
Yeah, coach, even we in India love our hockey. I mean, clearly one of the sports we absolutely love and are passionate about. My friend Sachin Tendulkar keeps talking about pressure and gives an example that if you think pressure is over your head, it will pull you down. But if it is behind you, it will propel you forward. So this is the example he keeps giving. Your thoughts on pressure? Do you feel the pressure of coaching India, one of the most high-profile assignments? I will get after Graham Reid if he doesn't give me a medal. That's my job. So your thoughts on handling pressure?
Yeah, look, we talk about it a fair bit in the team as well, and it's about being in the present. And pressure comes from outside, and then if you let it in, then it becomes internal and can, as Sachin says, it can drag you down. So For me, it's about a couple of things. The first one is changing the channel. You know, if you find yourself being nervous about something particular, and it's the same within a game, it's before a game. If it's about an interview you're about to do and you're feeling nervous, then for me it's about focusing on what you need to do right now, and that to me is the most important thing. And I've found that it used to work as a player, but it also does work as a coach. If you focus on what you have to do next, then I think that's probably, you know, the same way of saying what Sachin is saying, is that it's behind you. You'll always look for the next thing because you can't change what has just happened.
Sreejesh, if I can just ask a very similar one to you. I mean, you know, obviously, if you open social media, there is already a build-up. This hockey team is excellent. They have been there, done that. We are as good as the top four. We can compete. Or we have a chance of a medal. Is that something that sort of you take as motivation? Is that something that you've now blocked off? Social media is a distraction that I will not look at. How is the last home stretch for Sreejesh going into the game on day one? How are you going to be ready?
See, the pressure is always there, whether you play a test match or whether you play Olympics. The pressure is always there. But when you prepare for a test match, you don't bother about the pressure. But when you're preparing for the Olympics, you always think around you, what all pressure I am getting, from where it's getting. The same way Coach mentioned, we should not allow those all pressure to get into our team to distract ourselves. So the first thing what personally I do is I just mind on my own business. So I look after my performance, I analyze myself, I analyze opponent teams, and I make sure that my equipments are ready for my match. So that is what I normally do for the matches. And when you people talk about social media or other interaction, no, because that is a part of your life. You check it every day. So if you don't do that, if you don't do the normal things, then suddenly you feel like, okay, something else is happening with me. Something else is happening, surrounding me. So then suddenly you start thinking negatively. So do normal things. You talk to your parents, you talk to your family, you make yourself comfort so that you are just going and playing a match. The normal match, what you train for from last 6 years, last 10 years. So you just need to go there and just to play that simple hockey under the tremendous pressure and the pressure. That's the one thing which we call as Olympics games.
Sports nutrition has become so important. And give me a sense, I mean, your preparation schedule, training schedule, diet, give me a sense of the backstage that people don't know.
सर एक्चुअली हमारे में जैसे न्यूट्रिशन है और वो पूरा फॉलो करते हैं, हमारा डाइट चार्ट फॉलो करते हैं, और स्पेशली हमारा जो फिटनेस ट्रेनर है वो पूरा एनालाइज करते हैं कि हाँ कि क्या हमें जो डाइट प्रॉपर आफ्टर ट्रेनिंग और बिफोर ट्रेनिंग जो हमें मिलनी चाहिए वो हमें मिल रही है कि नहीं मिल रही है। क्योंकि हमें हर शेड्यूल में हर प्रोग्राम में डाला जाता है कि हाँ कि आज हाई इतना इंटेंसिटी ट्रेनिंग हो रही है तो आपको इतना कार्ब्स खाना है और इतना प्रोटीन लेना है, तो जिससे आपकी जो बॉडी है वो रिकवर जल्दी कर सके और आप नेक्स्ट डे के लिए अपने आप को रेडी कर सको। तो मेरा पर्सन यही रहता है कि मैं उसको चीज को फॉलो करूं और जो मैं नेक्स्ट अपना पूरा बेस्ट कर सकूं, क्योंकि हर ट्रेनिंग हमारे लिए काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है जैसे ओलंपिक्स पास में आ रही है। तो इसलिए जैसे कि वाटर वो बहुत ज्यादा, जैसे कि डिहाइड्रेशन वो बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हर ट्रेनिंग के बाद काफी स्वेट होता है, उसके बाद पानी पीना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है। इसीलिए हम लोग ट्रेनिंग से पहले अपना वेट चेक करते हैं कितना वेट लूज किया है, और उसी हिसाब से ट्रेनिंग के बाद पानी पीना होता है। फिर जिस दिन रेड सेशन होता है, मतलब हार्ड ट्रेनिंग सेशन रहता है जो कि कल ही था, तो उसके बाद आपको कार्ब थोड़ा ज्यादा खाना होता है, ठीक है, जब अदरवाइज आप प्रोटीन ज्यादा लीजिए। तो ये चीजें हैं सर कि जो हमारी जो ट्रेनर्स है, जो न्यूट्रिशन है, वो डेली फॉलो हमें देते आते हैं कि हाँ कि इसको फॉलो करना है आपको।
Okay, Coach, are you happy with the facilities that we have been able to provide you in India? Sports Authority of India, obviously the Sports Ministry under Kiran Rijiju, obviously Dr. Batra being a hockey aficionado president and all that he has been in hockey, it's more important for him compared to anything else. Are you happy with the facilities that we have been able to give you?
Yeah, I think I said from day one, you know, if you come down to our training facilities, they're world class, and we've been lucky because we've just opened one of our new. There's a new building that we have, which is basically it's still working out all the ways that we can utilise it. But the bottom floor of the new building is a world-class gym, and seriously, it's fantastic. So normally, if there are things that we need, we only have to mention it a couple of times, or once, and it's done. You know, so most of the time things are really, and you know, for us it's been our home. It's been, you know, these guys normally it's a camp for say 4 weeks or 6 weeks, maybe at the most. This time it's been 15 months or 16 months or whatever it is, and one of the things that I'm really proud of with this team is the fact that that they have managed to get through that period. Because look, coming from Australia and coming from the Dutch team, I'm sure that these guys have handled it all so much better than you know the other two countries that I mentioned probably would have. You know,
I asked Manpreet about preparation and schedule, etc. How do you relax? I mean, at these points, you can't go out and watch a film. You can't go out and meet anybody because you're in a bubble. Obviously, outside exposure is not allowed. Otherwise, I would have physically come down to where you are and done this interview. That's not possible. Last Olympics also, if you remember, I had come down and spoken to you all, spent days at the training camp. But how do you relax? I mean, is it Netflix and OTTs and group bonding and PlayStation? Manpreet, also, I'll come to you. You will get after Sreejesh. That's fine. Sreejesh, pehle aap bolo, fir I'll come to Manpreet.
No. Definitely. I mean, this COVID taught us to sit inside the room and chill out. So now we are getting a lot of sources. Now the Euro is happening. Before that, the Rupee Championship was happening, and before to that, I mean, at the starting of this COVID, nobody knows what to do. So everyone started to pick up some sort of hobbies. I don't know how many books I finished. It's more than 100 books. Just sitting and reading. And then when we get a break time, we try to get into the pool. We do have a pool inside this campus, so we just go there. In between the starting of this COVID, we try to cook for the team. So we try a lot of experience, and even in the team, there are a lot of people, those who are really addicted to Netflix. And Manpreet is one who is really addicted to PS5. He bought a new one. And there are people who is definitely addicted to PUBG also. So that is how the team is distracting themselves from hockey, because so far we are here together 365 days, working hard for for Olympics, but still you need to distract your mind in some sort of way. That cheating meal is also coming in that way, because after a heavy training session, you need to treat yourself. After a heavy weekend, a heavy week of training, so you need to treat yourself.
How confident are you, coach? Because trust you me, 1980 has been 41 years now. 41 years. I mean, Vasudevan Bhaskaran, Mohammad Shahid. 41 years. How confident are you of giving us what we all dream of in this country?
Yeah, look, I would have to say very confident. What I keep saying to the players as well, or reminding them that over the last 2 years, we've pretty much played everybody in the Olympic Games, bar Canada, because we haven't had a chance to play them. Although I think we did play them in Aslan Shah back in early 2019, before I got here. But we have beaten every single team. So I think the important part that we just need to do is to focus on what our job is every single game, every single quarter, every single minute of each game, and the result will look after itself. We just need to play well and play our best, do our best, stay together. You know, they're the sort of messages that, and look, the outcome will be what it is. The Olympic Games is a very, very difficult tournament. You know, I don't think anyone could dispute that fact. But what we need to do is focus on what we can do, and that is focus on our game and the way that we play, enjoy ourselves, play the way that we love to play. You know, we're really trying to play an Indian style. It's very similar to the way that we used to play with Australia. And by the way, Australia's way of play came originally from India mainly as well. So, you know, there's a fair bit of synchronicity there. And yeah, so that's pretty much my message.
Okay. Sreejesh, before I close it with Manpreet, obviously if we do एक आइसक्रीम एक साथ टोक्यो में बनता है आफ्टर द टूर्नामेंट इज ओवर, सेलिब्रेट करके मिक्स जोन में खाएंगे, प्रोटोकॉल नहीं तोड़ेंगे, बट वी विल हैव समथिंग टुगेदर एंड सेलिब्रेट. So we will definitely do that. I'll get one of your jerseys signed by you, and obviously you will be the next chapter of the book. Needless to say. Final thoughts from you, Sreejesh.
See, I think we are just we are just in the last preparation phase. We done whatever things we need to do, and we are just polishing our last phase, and we are just sharpening our weapons and just polishing ourselves, and just wanted to be there and just want to deliver our 100%, not 100, 200%. इस टाइम पे वही डायलॉग याद आता है जैसे मिल्खा सिंह का मूवी में नहीं बोलता है कि ये आपका आखिरी रेस साबित हो सकता है, और दौड़ूंगा भी ऐसे. हम लोग का भी यही मौका है कि एक आखिरी मौका मिल रहा है, खेलूंगा भी ऐसे कि हमारा जो ग्लोरियस डे का दिन है वो वापस लेके आने के लिए एक आखिरी मौका मिला है, उसको पूरा करना है.
Super, Manpreet, you have to beat that.
सर एक्सपीरियंस हमेशा ज्यादा होता है सर. एक्सपीरियंस देखो ना आप, वो भी देखो कितना एक्सपीरियंस है. दो बच्चे भी है ना, वो भी देखो फर्क रहेगा ना.
but closing thoughts from you.
सर हमारी तरफ से यही है कि पूरा बेस्ट करना, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने बहुत मेहनत की है. लास्ट ईयर जो पूरा पैंडेमिक कोविड की वजह से हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे स्पेंड किया है, तो इतना हार्ड वर्क किया है, उसका डेफिनेटली हम लोग पूरा 100, जैसे श्री बोला 200% देंगे हर मैच में, एवरी सिंगल मिनट. और इस टाइम यही है कि हम लोग पोडियम फिनिश कर सकते हैं, बट हमें बिलीव होना चाहिए और हम लोग कर सकते हैं. ओके, एंड वी विल डू आवर बेस्ट दिस टाइम.